What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cousin Cecil Show. I am your host, Mike Fowler, a.k.a. Cousin Cecil. How are you? Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Hopefully, well, for the ones that I didn't record during the time, hopefully you had a great holiday for yours, Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate during this winter time. I hope you had a good time. Hopefully you got what you asked for if you do presents at your said holiday. But yeah, been a little minute. I think it's kind of funny. I did say I felt really recharged the last episode that was out. And then I didn't do any. But I will say it's not me in the sense of, this last week in particular. I can't remember, 2 weeks ago, I did not have time because of, I was working. I worked last 2 Sundays ago, 2 Sundays. So after I got out of work, which was I worked a morning shift that one. I did go, I'm like, fuck it. And then in particular, that was the week of, I believe it was the week that, which we'll talk about this one in particular, the possible new Sony PlayStation's membership tiers for their new, like a new revised version of PlayStation Plus, aka codename PlayStation Spartacus. I will break that one down in a minute, but no, I know also that same week that I can't remember the guy's name. But the one of the PlayStation board members, or like the people, someone who's in the area that he was involving like censorship of games, like he's the reason why I think some of our games are being censored. He is apparently a pedophile, as in he was trying to find underage boys on the internet, and so yeah, just wanted to more state it. Of course, I didn't get that farther into the news of that. I think it's fucked up. I don't, how would I word it? I'm definitely not trying to fucking cover it up because it's PlayStation. But like the idea of like, it feels like it goes into a non-gaming thing, but the idea of this guy works in the game industry, so hey, frowned upon. Kind of just like how, I hope, because the last time I checked, I think I'm hoping he got fired, but he's either was removed or he's on like that. He's like on, is it like that leave of absence while they're probably getting all his shit together, but I'm not 100% sure on all that. But yeah. What is it else? I mean, we had the Game Awards, but oh yeah, back to me. Forgot about that. My bad. Just drifted. But so yeah, that Sunday I worked, and then this previous Sunday, I had no power. Saturday we are in this part around area of Michigan. We had like some windstorm, some shit, like we had 60-mile-an-hour winds, and long story short, some trees hit the power lines. Oh, fuck. And obviously had no power. I had to play this dance because of something with, I don't want to say it like that. My house has a sump pump, which obviously involves, no power, so someone needs to be here to, drain it, because of, coincidentally, the weather has been kind of wet, so obviously it's been in use. And then consumers said, hey, yeah, your power will be back estimated Sunday 5:45 at night. And obviously we're talking we had no power from Saturday, maybe 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning till then. So I got my family all together. They got our hotel. I was playing touch and base everywhere, coming back here to take the dogs out, do the pump. I also slept here. I had a timer on for every 2 hours to go down, because that's how long I was noticing how long it took the water to get to from like as deep or as low as I can get the bucket to do, and then to empty it. It took 2 hours to fill it back up. And then, so Sunday came around, and we're like, fuck it. Let's go to the mall. Try, like I did the time. I'm like, you know what? By around middle of Sunday, it took the sump pump 3 hours to actually get to the top. So we're doing quick math. Like, you know what? Let's just go. If anything, we'll probably be gone, and we'll be driving back while the power comes on. Then the pump can do it its own, blah, blah, blah. All right. We went to the mall. Pretty good time for mall sense of this holiday season. It was a little packed. We got to play. I went more because that was just fun to do, but also like this mall has a arcade, and they have like the more Japanese style claw machines, like the ones like if you played Yakuza. So it's like a little pincher claw, or the idea like the game is the machine's not maybe said to capture your prize. It's like, hey, shimmy it off these 2 sticks. If it falls, you win, blah, blah, blah. Or like, hey, the claw machine's going to scoop up ping pong balls, whereas put it into this. If you can make one of your ping pong balls go into the colored cupcake pan, like circles, like the one that makes you win, you win. And so yeah. My stepson, he actually won twice, and he won some 2 times. Like he won ramen noodles. The boy, he put his heart and soul for these noodles. You don't even like them. And then, but yeah, so got out of there, spent too much money there, and I was getting on the exit of to get home, and like it is 5:50. So technically 5 minutes. They the time of said is supposed to be restored, and then let's also take another step back. The consumer's website app thing is like in a 5-step program of how to get your power back, and we were step 2 since like the end of Saturday night. So we're driving, and I got on the exit, so we got more time, like more safer to look at your phone. It updated. It said, now it will be Monday, 6:00 at night. You'll get your power back. So I had this whole drive home thinking, shoot, I gotta call into work and do for another day, blah, blah, blah. And there's some funny moments about how it all works out in a sense of like, so we're on the highway, we go on our little exit, and it kind of takes you on like it's like a state highway, like M15, we'll call it. And on the way back, if we were 5 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier, we went past a wreck. And for some reason in my mind, I was like, you know what? Just crazy how life, like, what made us stay at the mall 5 more minutes? What did this? Because, like, it's kind of funny. We did stay in the mall for a little extra because right at the end, we were trying to, do little rides for my son. And there's four little quarter ride things, dollar rides. But the first one didn't, ate our first dollar quarters. The second one didn't even take money. The third one finally let him play, and obviously let him go through the whole shebang. And it kind of stalled us out. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And but not trying. But then we got home, or we were pulling up to our road, and the consumer's truck the big truck was at the front of the street because I live on a dead end road. So it was at the top of the street, and I shimmied past them, and maybe 2 houses down farther than my house was another truck. We pulled in. Obviously, there's no lights on the street. I pull in, and I hit park with my car. And when I hit park in my car, the lights turned on. So it was kind of neat to see. I'm like, oh my God, thank God, the power's back on, and we're just able to enjoy the night. It was a really good time to see. Well, that was my couple of weeks of why, since I feel better, like haven't been recording. And also it's December, and before, I was debating on like, do I even do this whole month or not, blah blah blah. But yeah. Recording this way off my usual days because I think this is gonna go on Christmas anyway. So Merry Christmas, like I said. But yeah, let's get into some news before we kind of do what my plan on doing for Christmas is. So let's take another step back. I do want to talk about that PlayStation possible new subscription tiers, aka PlayStation Spartacus. So to my knowledge, because it came up on well, not like that, but I saw it on Twitter. There's a weird system for PlayStation Plus, and there's no set price or nothing. Just that there might be possibly a 3-tier system to get us to play PlayStation more money. And what is it? The first tier, I believe, is going to be what it is kind of right now. It's just PlayStation Plus. I think you're going to get games with gold. Not games with gold. Your PlayStation Plus games. Nothing really changed at the middle, at that first level, I believe. Now, the second level to this rumored thing, because it's not nothing yet, is there's supposed to be kind of a Game Pass at the second tier, but it's leveled, like it is PS4, PS5 esque only on this game, on this library, to my knowledge. And then the third tier is actually what unlocks, and we actually get access to older generations of PlayStation 4 of that. And I'm trying to look it up while I'm talking. Again, it's going to be a long time looking this up because, it's old news now, but I'm going to look it up. But in my personal opinion, what is it? Of this new tier system, I think it's fine. I'm not 100% sure of how I feel. Let's see, where is it? See now it's been so long, I keep seeing the news for people who have talked about it on their own show. But it's supposed to be a rival to Game Pass. And I really don't think it should be the best way to... hopefully they don't sell it into that conversation. Because I really don't think Game Pass... I don't think they should be looking into being a like we're trying to be head to head. I think they should stick to kind of steering their own path, kind of like how Xbox is doing. And I mean, I think if anything, I really hope. how would I word it? I wish to hear if that these tiers also unlock other things like, tier 3 lets you have premium memberships to Funimation and Crunchyroll or something. That's what I prefer over, over the thing. But, that's what it is. It kind of mixes up. This Spartacus is the plan to merge PS Plus and PS Now. I have been saying, we also agreed, I think we've all talked before, that's not a bad move. I think that's inevitable. There should have been a bundle already for PS Plus and PS Now to be together in one same price. No. The bigger trick, I wonder, is the price. How much will they sell a PS Spartacus price? We're already $60 for PS Plus. And, I think PS Now is $60, or there's so many times I've been looking at PS Now. It's during those times when there's like a sale, like you can get like the whole year for $40. So I don't think that's fair for me to go, oh yeah, that's the price. So we'll go $60, maybe $70. I can't remember because I know it's more expensive going through a month to month, because obviously that'll be up to $120 because I think it's $10 a month. But okay. $120 for both of them. If that could be the tier 3, and $120 will give you PS Plus, PS Now, and they also confirm what I'm asking for is Crunchyroll, Funimation premiums, and here's the other thing that we forgot that they already talked about, which I don't know if it, if the third tier also gives you that Discord Nitro that people really are a big fan about. I don't even know what Discord Nitro prices are. If they cut that after I'm talking, if they cut this down to $100 a year, $100 a year, maybe take a little bit on the chin on certain things. If they could come out and say PlayStation Spartacus is $100 a year for X amount, never try to sell it like Game Pass. Never say day and one date games, because that's not what this Spartacus is even the discussion about, apparently. But the idea of you're going to get free games, you'll have access to a bigger back catalog more than PS Now. And say, yeah, Crunchyroll and Funimation's already in it. We'll give you the Discord thing that we're talking about from that's supposed to be coming up year. I think it's fine. Again, it matters in how they walk into this. I'm telling you right now on this show, I would not, as PlayStation, I would never say this is Game Pass. No. Just say we have a new tier system for PS Plus, and here it is. You want in? Jump in. If not, enjoy what you got. Because I think it'll be more. It'll cook up this whole console war shit more than it is now. But yeah, I'm excited. I wish even within this time frame of the news that kind of broke out, I wish there was more news, so I'm not over here speculating. Still, what is it? But yeah. Next up was we had the Game Awards the last week. Well, yeah, previous weeks, and we had a little controversy before it started because Jeff Keighley kind of brought it up saying, hey, we're not going to be kind of bringing up the Activision shit going on with their people, their Bobby Kotick and all that shit. And then people, this is where I get not confused. This is why I don't like these already ready to fight moments on Twitter. Okay, so he kind of kept it bland, and granted, he did backtrack, so I'll give you that too. I don't like that he also tries to make a stance and then he still groveled to this roaring thing that he should have just been. There are ways to address something, and I think he did a C, maybe a little B- esque at the Game Awards, but let's continue back to what I'm trying to say. You know, when this whole Activision shit has been going on, everyone's been saying, hey, fuck you, Activision, which is fine, because obviously there's been some dirty shit going on there. Same with me in the sense of, like, I know, like I've said before, the Call of Duty's here. And before that discussion, I knew it was like, I thought it was just Blizzard, not just the whole Activision thing. And it not hurts, but, you know, I do want to say, like, oh, I'm glad I got Call of Duty Vanguard, but also I do want to know, I don't want to have the elephant in the room of me saying that's not fucked up, because it is fucked up in Activision's offices. But the thing I'm trying to get to is with the Game Awards. He wanted not to say anything. He kind of brought up, he did like a very vague stroke, saying like I don't want to put Keeley into the same department as like a Trump saying, but like he basically said there's bad guys on all around. There's bad guys everywhere. But he just started off the Game Awards with that. And then there's a pretty decent video on YouTube, of course, of like, there's like a little 8-minute video of all the announcements from the Game Awards. And the thing I like is I'm glad that It Takes Two. Shout out to Hazelight, and I always forget the gentleman's name, but that was the Fuck the Oscar guy, and the team for winning the award. I feel it was the right winner, since obviously I voted for it. But for the new announcements, I was very impressed of what he got to announced and what they showed. And I don't care what anybody says. This was like, I think it was, I don't want bullshit. It was either 2.5 or 3.5. I just can't remember what number it was. I think it was 2.5. Our reward show grants a lot of ads, but hey, he's doing it on his own pocket in the sense, getting advertisements. It's not like, you know what I mean? I still applaud Jeff for doing this every year. I know, granted, just how people were doing within that first, right before Game Awards week, when the shots were fired about the whole Activision thing. They're like, it's just a guy trying to make money in his own, putting money in his own pocket. Remember that, blah, blah, blah. And then you have all of them go back and say, hey, it was all right, but, you know, it was a little wrong. Like, just shut up. If you don't want to be like Jeff, don't like him, but then reap what you sow when he gets the exclusive. You should not be saying this. I don't want to write, then don't write about him. If you want to be big talk at Twitter, put your money where your mouth is, and don't tweet or don't write about him when he has the goods of this shit too. The things that showed that really caught my eye was one, there's a Wonder Woman game coming out from the creators of Shadows of Mordor out of Monolith Studios, and it is a open world Wonder Woman game apparently, because it was only a 40-second little teaser of her basically in the dark with lasso of truth lighting her up. But it's the next game that uses the actual Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor. And I was like, oh, snap. That looks awesome. Or that sounds awesome because you didn't see anything. And then it was cool to hear, which I'm not part of this fandom, so I say it's cool because I'm glad for fans. Alan Wake 2 was announced that it's in production. They had Sam Lake there, and he said, "Yeah, we announced it, but now we're going to go into complete dark mode. We're not going to be talking anywhere. We're just going to go into work." And then, and then Jeff was teasing. They've been working with somebody for 2.5 years, blah, 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 with announcements. They got to reveal something. We saw the first gameplay of Hellblade 2, Sana Saga. And I would be a liar if I came here today and tell you it didn't look beautiful as a, because obviously it's a first party game for Xbox, not going to come over to PlayStation. I've seen on the internet a lot of people, a lot of Xbots praising it, but also at the same time act surprised when the game is still kind of into the roots of the original game, in the sense what I'm going to say is like I don't want to call it a walking simulator, but the idea of it's a very tight camera, very tight in the sense of it's a cinematic routine or walkthrough you're doing while you're playing it, because what they showed looked really good. She was like tracking this let's say giant, and there's moments where then he just it looks fine, it looked great. There are some weird moments when she's running, and it looks very video gamey runny in the sense of like it looks like the same run each time she stopped, turned around, and you kind of see the same back gesture of her walk. But it looked really good. It's besides this Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and I didn't even get to say that. But besides the Halo Infinite multiplayer and Infinite, just period. And then this is probably the second game that's made me feel like, man, the Xbox Series X, or even just get an S. I'll take the graphical fidelity down, but the idea of easy way in, blah, blah, blah. Just exactly how they're trying to sell the Xbox Series S to people. Definitely made me feel like buying a system like that. And then the one other game that there was a game. There's two. I know I keep doing this. I should have a script or at least something like notes, but that's been the trouble since going back to work. I've not had time to feel good to write shit down. We also, before the show and the pre-show, they had an announcement of I think it's called Thirsty Suitors. And it is the game that we on the Cousin Cecil show kind of discussed during the Annapurna showcase. It was during, I forgot the gentleman's name, but it's that the Indian background guys studios game that they were kind of teasing. We talk about it might be skateboarding moments. But no, it is apparently Thirsty Suitors. And when I say suitors is because it's about a Indian family's daughter having to, kind of feels like little Scott Pilgrim me, because they said you have to battle her exes and her suitors to see, so she can kind of choose her own fate of her love life. And there's some skateboarding, some over the topness, and there's she's talking to her grandma. Her grandma was able to she was talking and twirling let's say a 40-pound dumbbell in her fingers. It looked like a very excellent indie game that I'm looking forward to seeing down the road. There was no like announcement besides coming out in 2022. But yeah, just more want to touch base on that. And then the one that's really I've been holding back, I've been wanting to say is like the last real showing or new announcement they had was this game. I don't even remember the studio's name, but it is a bunch of ex Battlefield. I don't want to say Bungie, but it's, I think, ex Battlefield team members that made a PvE game called Arc Riders. And it looked very well. It was maybe a 3-4 minute trailer that actually had gameplay, or at least it had to be gameplay. It had, or like the idea of like, oh, here's a segment that we're trying to make work gameplay. But you work as like, how would I word it? You're some of the last survivors, very cliche, but you're fighting these robot droids that are coming down from the sky as a team. Like, you know, it's like I don't know how many players you can be, but it feels like more than 4. But, you know, it's like, so I wanted to say, like, you know, their background is in NIICE. So you're shooting the droids. The droids are pinging off pieces of their metal off their bodies, or falling off, and like you break down like this big giant droid. Nothing looks scary. It's just the idea of like, oh, that's a 6-legged droid that has like a ball for a head. Nothing trying to be like oh, it's an alien. Ooh, that shit. It just had a very interesting, and then like there's over the shoulder shooting, traversal in like a, like you're wearing like a booster or like a little jetpack thing, so you can do like very high extended jumps. And it worked. The trailer worked for me. I'm like, wow, this looks cool. I can't wait to hear more. But that was just one of those little teasers. Another thing is, yeah, I think that's about it for for the Game Awards. And I did it very short and sweet. You know how we usually do. We break it down. But I think the game system, having new game systems revealed, definitely do the Game Awards a little bit better. But it was a very good show. The only thing I could think of is maybe have they did have some new announcements that he didn't talk about to people out like during the year, but there are moments that feel like how the Game Award nominees were. Like you can see where Jeff has his nominees set up, because it's the people who are working with him, people who talk to him. You know what I mean? Like how do I word it? If I think the Team Cherry, the ones who do Hollow Knight, if Hollow Knight were like best buds to Jeff Keighley, you definitely see Jeff Keighley talking to him all year, and then, oh wow, surprise, they're in the nominees for a lot of different rewards. I'll give you people that this year felt like that more than other years. I don't know if it's because we've been locked down. You get to, obviously, it's streaming. He's been streaming always somewhere out the wazoo something. So obviously that also probably keeps you connected to his thing, so it doesn't feel like a surprise. Or what's the word? Like, it doesn't seem so like no duh to it. But yeah. I think it was a great show. If someone told me it was 2.5 hours, it didn't feel like it. I think it went through pretty well done. I do feel bad for some of the people who, you know, one, they got to come up and say thank you. It felt like they got like, hey, you got like 30 seconds. Say thank you to maybe your mom. And if you don't have enough time, just walk off. You get out of there. We need to put an ad in for Amazon. So maybe there could be some more better balancing acts like people have said, but that's all my 2 cents about that. But yeah, and then let's do a more classic Cousin Cecil thing to end this year. Well, first of all, before we get into the indie world thing, Ubisoft Quartz developer, Quartz are apparently Ubisoft's NFTs, that's a whole nother podcast talk about NFTs, have confirmed that Splinter Cell remake is being made in Ubisoft Toronto. So, hey, that's kind of cool. But I want to get into this. So, today we had an Indie World showcase. And it was only 20 minutes long. I'd like to, before we grade it, or before we even start, I'm going to give this one B-. Maybe almost a B, but I think B- would be a good thing. I like long. I like it long. I like it long. Like, it was only 20 minutes long, and it was kind of very in and out, and it worked. And I more want to applaud Nintendo's Indie World because PlayStation and Xbox should just copy and paste the Nintendo playbook of how they do Indie Worlds. You can do whatever you want for your directs or state of plays or showcasing or extended fucking whatever you want to call it, the Xbox does. But for the indie showcases they do, you need to copy and paste Nintendo's. Xbox does that ID at Xbox live stream sometime. That happened last week. I forgot about that too. Like, the only thing, and that's where I'm trying to get to. I did not know there was one going on, and I did not even know that they announced that Sniper Elite 5 is going to be on Game Pass day and date. And guess what? I just told you something that you didn't have to go watch Andrea Renee and some random person from Xbox gloat about these trailers that they go back to a streaming thing and go, wow, that was amazing of X game. Like, and then the PlayStation. They had an article this week. They said they're trying to work their way back to their indies and treat them better. So obviously they're treating them like fucking peasants. They both those big guys need to follow the Nintendo playbook for indies. So we'll get into this one because this is what I'm trying to explain. It starts off with this new game from the developers of The Messenger. Again, their trailers are spot on. They tell me who's developing it. It shows me it. And they also then they redo the fucking trailer again with the Nintendo people talking over it about trying to sell it. It's always chef's kiss about it. But it starts off with this new game from the developers of The Messenger, another great game called Sea of Stars, and very beautiful old school art style. I don't want to say top down RPG, but it's it is a little bit more free roaming old school RPG, but with it seemed like the battle system is kind of like a tactics where it's like, okay, there are how many squares you weigh. They don't show the squares, but the idea that I got this idea from is there was a moment when you saw 3 enemies that were kind of shaped in a triangle, and one of your weapons is we'll say a boomerang. And the person threw it at one, hit one, and it kind of went down because they were lined up perfectly to hit each other. Like, okay, but it just they didn't show anything besides it's come out holiday 2022, but it looked very, very well done. It was a very great game to start off the thing, especially since it's nowhere close to being out. Next was oh boy, I don't know how. Alicia is launching as a console exclusive on the Switch this spring 2022. Long story short, they let us see the developers, and they kind of said it's a game that has two sisters, two twins. One can play. You can play the game as one sister, and it plays probably more like a normal game. The second sister plays as a first-person drone she controls, and you can play as co-op. You can play it alone, and then you have to tread lightly what you do because there might be there's multiple endings, so you might not get the true ending. Blah blah blah. It looked really cool, and another thing you'll notice in this whole Nintendo Switch indie world is co-op is coming back. And as you saw with the Game Awards, I think with the Game Awards, it takes two. And with these indie games that are, hey, we can't get the best graphics. But what we can do is we can have graphics enough so that we can have multiple players on a split screen or we'll get an actual online system so we can play online co-op. But yeah, this NIICE comes out spring 2022, exclusive to that. It looks cool. It kind of looks like your sisters that are working, not working. You're like spelunking this dungeon. It looked very neat. Next was a very kind of surprising, and I love the humor, but it's a point and click adventure called Loco Motive revealed. And it's kind of like a whodunit, but with everyone's fully casted. It's like a classic not LucasArts. So a Tim Schafer joint, not Double Fine. Tim Schafer joint. Look humorous. You get to play as 3 different characters or more. I'm not sure. And you got to figure out who's done it. And one of your characters might be the one who actually did it. You're revealing to find out that you're the one that actually killed her or not. It looked very fun. Obviously, I think it's kind of cool. They got enough. All the voices are actually, there's actual voices. That's very neat. These are out this next summer. Another game that's coming out next summer for Nintendo, which, again, like we've done each indie world, since this is just Nintendo, they always say just Nintendo, but some of these games will come over to different consoles. Trust me. Next was After Love EP. I can't remember when they said about the guy, but he has another game that people like. But this one, After Love, is a visual novel, also a rhythm game, and like some quick time events. But it looks very cool. I liked also hearing. Long story short, the story that they said was you play as a musician who kind of in the slumps because your girlfriend kind of cheated on you, but then also died. And you've been kind of getting into, like, that kind of fucks you up, and you gotta, get out of that rut. And it looked very interesting. Next, that one was a surprise out today, was a Dungeon Munchies, an action side scroller with cooking. Available today. It, looked fun. Looked like the idea of, like, instead of the monsters are all animal or food related, so you can then cook them later and make different recipes and stuff. Looks very neat. Next was Figment 2, a musical puzzle adventure game coming out in February. And there was a demo out today. And it's apparently figment of your imagination, but it's like your mind's a puzzle, and you have to fight these nightmares, and like there's music. It sounded really cool. Next was kind of cool. Let's Play Oink Games, a collection of different tabletop games. It's available today, and like one of them's like you can like one's like being a captain of a ship. One of them's like you live in space. But the cool thing is, it's obviously it's co-op on the same system or online co-op, so you can play with your friends from anywhere you are. If you like board games, it might be a different way to play instead of playing some like actual like the Monopolies or whatever. But yeah. Next, Endlings, is coming to Switch spring 2022. You play as a mother fox trying to keep your babies alive during either the winter or weather. It shows weather. I think it's like the world is basically going extinct and you're trying to make your baby survive. Some of your babies might not, some don't, but it's up to you. Like, oh boy. It looked pretty cool. Next, they had another reveal trailer for Ollie Ollie World. There's also a pre-order bonus for Switch for that's the thing. It shows this, but I thought that game was a PlayStation game. It looks like you're like a not a hero mask, but I could be wrong. But obviously that comes out February 8th, they said. Looking, Ollie Ollie was fine. It looks like very interesting. We'll see what the price is for it. Next was River City Girls 2. Coming to Switch in the summer of 2022. And it kind of also announced that it obviously has couch co-op and also online co-op. It kind of starts right off where River City Girls 1 ended. Looks like a really good like a Streets of Rage style game or River City game. And then they had the sizzle reel. Coming to Switch in spring is Parkosaurus. Looks like kind of like it's a park tycoon game but with dinosaurs, but it's not as graphical as the Jurassic Park ones. Don't Starve Together, very old game. Out now, Chicory, the one that's from the PlayStation, finally came over to Switch. This January 21st will be this game called Baby Storm. Grime, don't know what that is. Summer 2022. Gearda, A Flame in Winter, 2022. Timali, later today, whatever that is. Behind the Frame was shown, spring. And they ended it, and I thought, I'll also say that too. I thought this was going to be the one, like, hey, I was about to tweet it too. I'm like, hey, wouldn't that be cool? This Indie World's the one that says this is where Hollow Knight Silk Song is announced, like the date. Totally wrong. They went definitely into this. This is how it's like. It was a very nonchalant showcase. It ended on Omori, Omori, an RPG that comes out spring 2022. And I don't even, like, they were saying, oh, it's from the Acclaim, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea who this guy is. It's definitely, has, like, these hand-drawn cartoon, like, I don't want to say anime because he's Japanese, but, like, like a hand-drawn style to the character showing, and then, like, it has, like, the top-down Undertale feeling of, like, walking through the world map. And, like, it looks alright, but obviously it's just not my bag. But that was it for that. And then, but yeah. That's kind of really up close for news-wise. I guess also, before we get into the other thing, there's a comic news that kind of already passed, but also is still current. We got news. Well, there's a couple of newses. We got news that George Perez announced that he has basically cancer. I don't remember which type of cancer, but it is very fatal, and he has about 6 months to live. George Perez is just a classic comic book artist. He's probably drawn every single superhero down the list. He was the artist for Crisis on Infinite Earth. He obviously is the cover artist of, like, that infamous Superman crying over Supergirl's body. He's also the artist for the collab, the Justice League and the Avengers comic that happened and then went away real quick. But no, just obviously hope for the family the best. Hope they get all the endeavors all lined up and everything. That sucks, but just to say. And then more of another death. I can't remember the lady's name. I'm I'm sorry for that, but right after Netflix canceled Cowboy Bebop season, the TV show, apparently they canceled that show too. I'm more surprised they did because I thought it was okay. I didn't finish it, but again, I don't know what they were looking for. But apparently the creator of Cowboy Bebop, the original lady, she also did Samurai Champloo. She passed away, and not even she was only 57, I believe, or in her late 50s. She just passed away. I can't remember what was the cause of death, but we lost another person in that nerd fandom. It's kind of crazy to hear. And then I think when I was talking, I thought about it. Is that it? I believe that is it for that part of the news. But I'm here because I wanted to do more of a review of kind of the year and do my not classics. We're only doing this for 2 years. Basically, my game of the year, my favorite old game, and favorite indie game. We'll start with the easier one because I was looking at my PSN profile for an old game. And when I say old game, that means just a game that came out not this year, but you played it this year. And that award goes to Jurassic World Evolution. The first one. I got that game this year. And it was very fun. And the thing is, actually, it was either going to be that or Death Stranding, because I actually got into Death Stranding this time. But no, Jurassic World Evolutions. It's a very well done park simulator that with obviously the Jurassic Park world and all that fun jazz. And then for indie, it is something I've already discussed on Cadillac on Mars, is episode of this month. But I gotta give it to Death's Door is my indie game of the year. It is a phenomenal game. I did not know I was gonna like it this much when it came out. It came out November 23rd, and when it first came out, I didn't know that it was also I thought it was going to be a fucking Souls game and maybe possible procedural like Hades. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I was completely wrong. This is more like Legend of Zelda, classic Legend of Zelda, not Breath of the Wild like everybody else says. Oh, it's like Breath of the Wild. No. It's like classic Legend of Zelda with a battle system that is kind of Dark Soulsy, but when I say that is because of it's like there's you only have 4 hit points. You know what I mean? You have to just be careful of your life. So it's just more precise button mashing, roll away, smack them again, roll away. That stuff. The game is beautiful. The game, what can I say that I did not say it on Cadillac on Mars? I like the story. I think they do some really they do some very artistic, vagueness about their views on death and how people see death. I thought it was very well done. Kudos to them. And then honestly, for a AAA game, I feel bad saying it only because, I also give it a shout because the guy did come on the show. If Death's Door, you know what? I'm going to do that instead because Death's Door is my game of the year. How about that? Death's Door is my game of the year. And my indie game is Aerial Knights Never Yield. because it was a fun little game and I really enjoyed the music. And also, I'm saying it more because I don't think we should give the AAA games actually were hit and miss this year. Because why? Why? Because and also my views are coming from what I played. Like, okay, so I was gonna stop and just say, yep, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was my favorite game of the year. Not really. I beat it. I platinumed it within the first weekend. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but the idea of I had more enjoyment from Death's Door than this whole year of games that I'm looking at. And then also the Never Yield game, which is a very good brain food, and the idea of hearing the background of Aerial Knight, hearing the shit that he has to go through, and hearing the ideas of how it's is going well the other way. You know what I mean? Those are my top lists. So, hey, look at that. We're doing it right now. Congratulations to Death's Door from Acid Nerve, Devolver Digital Publishing, your cousin Cecil's Game of the Year. Congrats. Congrats to Never Yield, Aerial Knights to be the Indie Game of the Year, and obviously congratulations to Jurassic World for being the old game I played this year. But I will do this though. Here are some of the games I like to just say, hey, good job and kudos from this year that I played. And I'm going to backtrack to make sure. Hey, this could have been an old game winner, but I played Grease this year, Gris. Very neat, very whimsical indie game. Keep it moving. Hey, I played Crash Bandicoot 4 this year. That was very fun. Hey, Uncharted Lost Legacy was actually a lot better. I'm more kind of upset that I waited so long to know about it. And then more of this could be a second place game of the year. I played Little Nightmares 2 this year. It was very well done. I didn't play the first one, but I watched some lore stuff, and it's very well done. I was Ratchet and Clank. That's more where and that's the thing. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, very well done. But I enjoyed Death's Door more than Guardians of the Galaxy, even though I platinum Guardians of the Galaxy, like I've said. That's why I'm trying to express myself as in that is Death's Door is that good in my opinion. Another one that should just be kudos that I'm going to continue playing, like I've said before, Judgment. Go play Judgment. That's a good game. And then we'll leave it like that because I can more talk about the games I'm playing whenever we get into actually beating them. But I'll just say thanks to Jeff Keighley's game sales that they promoted, I got a lot of fucking games, and also this is Christmas episode. Some games on the trees, and it's technically for a kid, but I know he won't play them, so I have time to use his discs. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then we're going to do more. This one is not going to be graded in that sense. It will be more, I'm going to give appreciations to comic books of the year that I think you guys should all have listened to me and should have go read. We'll start off with Mad Caves Nottingham. I know you're thinking, oh, the guy was on the show, so that's why, but no, it's a very well done first volume. Volume 2 is coming out this next year. I'm looking forward to it. It was very well done. I'm very impressed with it. And I'm very happy to get I got a first issue edition of the first issue. Next is from Image. This one is called Vinyl. It is about like this weird serial killer, and it's very over the top, but I would suggest I'd recommend that to somebody to read. One of the first DC ones we're going to talk about is Wonder Girl. by excuse me. No, yeah. DC's Wonder Girl. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a very interesting. I think it's always good to get into a new character, like Yuna. I think her name is. Can't remember her name. Next is from Boom Studios. Well, here's the first. These two are from Boom. One is Good Luck, and the other one is Berserker. The one that Berserker is that Keanu Reeves one. Just so you know. Another Mad Cave one is Bountiful Garden, and then Marvel. I'm gonna just say Hulk. That Donny Cates Hulk that we talked about last time really kept really glued to me. I really enjoyed it. And also go check out Moon Knight. This run of Moon Knight is very well done too. And then DC's Catwoman Lonely City. I know it feels very hey, we just talked about it last week, but they connected. And then of course Scout Comics Black Cotton. The first volume is over. I think it's very well done. I think it stuck the landing, and it is now also in the races of we're making the next volume. So here we're going to do. I did some recollections of it. I took a step back. I'm like, okay, the first issue is about, the whole synopsis is about what happens if the world was flipped, and there's, blacks were the majority and whites were the minorities. And what happens if we had a police shooting like we do now? And I came in thinking oh my God, you're going into such a high taboo topic. Why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And then you know what? It clicked during this time of thinking about this year. I'm like, oh, that happens. And then the idea of how I word it. I took a step back and not walked into it looking for the hot topic answer. But the idea, I'm now reading it, and I've always enjoyed it. But the idea of I'm walking into it now of all right, this is not the book for the answers to help this world. It's the idea of it has same familiarities of this world, but obviously there's an answer, a conclusion, and then we're going to keep moving like a comic book. We're going to another interesting thing that makes this world more interesting is the idea of what if certain, a different race kind of colonized the world in that sense. And it's very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to the next volumes after we've got over this taboo hot pick hurdle, I'm going to call it, into this actual now we're into Black Cotton universe conflicts, and I'm looking forward to it. Congrats to the team, blah, blah, blah. And then also, I almost forgot the comic that's actually my favorite comic of this year was from Boom Studios, but Ron V's The Many Deaths of Lila Starr. Beautiful 5-issue series. And also Swamp Thing. Go read Swamp Thing. And then I also forgot to say Image's Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs is getting a second series called Dog Days, but I've heard from I didn't get to read it myself yet, but I've heard such compliment things, and I've also loved the covers. They were doing horror movies with dogs on them to be it's very well done. Stray Dogs. And then something that's more Cousin Cecily. Best old book I got to read. I got to read the full issues of Why the Last Man. And, that I've obviously discussed that, but no, it's very well done. And then for music, very, very small. I just want to give another compliment to the Donda album. I did it last time. I did it on Calic, like I said. I have a very small pool of music I've been listening to this year, but Donda kept in rotation very well. I don't know why. I don't know. There's something to it. There's some little things, little spots into it, but no, Donda. And then for TV, kind of caught me off guard. Ted Lasso. Yeah, very well done. I guess more in the future-wise, since we already did the indie show, I think it's very interesting also for another comic book news is they finally announced that that DC comic Naomi that has a CW season coming out very soon. Season 2 of her comic is happening in March. And in my head, I'm like, I think I want to just more say it because I want to say it right now. I think it's the worst way of how they are doing it. They're doing it. Season 2 starts off with her already working with Superman. Already has worked with Batman because she's done it because she's in Justice League. I don't think that's fair to anybody who was collecting Naomi herself, who just got 6 books and said, all right, oh yeah, forgot Superman only flew by one time. Like, what the fuck? Now you have to actually read. You had to read Young Justice. You had to be in Justice League's Michael Bryan Bendis current run, who is currently writing it right now, to know who Naomi is more as herself. I don't think it's fair, but I digress on that. And then that's it. That's the show. But I'm gonna say I want to leave you on this. I'd love to have somebody answer me on this. I heard today James Cameron, Mr. Repetitive Innovator. He had a very interesting thing he liked to say. He was on an article about streaming, movies, blah, blah, blah. He had an interesting thing that I thought was kind of neat. He said he would like to make a 6-hour movie for streaming. And also this movie is able to be condensed into a 2.5-hour movie that can be sent into theaters. He said, he's like, I'd like to make it so like the movie, the 6-hour version is like the book. And then I can still cut up a movie out of this for theaters. And I thought that is a very crazy and innovative thing to think about. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. Something about during the year, like think about that. What would you do? The best thing I could think of is a Disney, the Disney Marvel shit. Could Loki be as good as it was if those 6 episodes? We'll say those 7 episodes were condensed into a movie. Could have held a candle to the TV seasons. I think that's the closest thing to my discussion to James Cameron thoughts that he just did could do. But yeah, since this is the holiday one, this week's hot pick is enjoy your family. Play the games you just got under the tree. Listen to the music you just got under the tree. And watch a show or a movie with your family and love each other. And like we say every week, be good to each other. And I'll catch you next year